Hello there, it's Matthew from Matthew North Music here again, and I'm in the shed, which means I'm going to be making something. Anyway, before we get to it, just want to say, if you like these videos and you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, please hit the subscribe button down below, and if you click the little bell icon, then you'll be notified every time there's a new video. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the contents of this box, and first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you something on the computer. And I was on Wish the other day, and I spotted this, the TTone DIY Fuzz Effects pedal kit, and it was priced at £11.68, and that included the foot switch and the box. Now, you'd be hard pushed to find one of these £15.90 boxes and a switch for £11.68. However, if I just click on the item, you can see it's actually gone up in price to £13.20, but that's still not a lot of money. Now, you also have various options on the shipping, and if we just scroll up, you can see there's two prices. There's ship to store and there's standard shipping. Now, I took ship to store, and I was able to collect this from a convenience shop about half a mile away, and I was able to save £3. Although be warned, when they label the packaging, they don't always put your full name on the package or where it's come from. And on this occasion, it literally just had the word Matthew written on it. So you need to be a bit careful. But £5.68 shipping, and it was £11, so it was less than £20 for the whole thing. Here's our box then. It came from China and has typical vague writing on it. And it actually said description of contents aluminium, and that's true because there is some aluminium in this box. Now, I'm going to quickly cut to something I shot on my mobile phone about a week ago. This is the case that the pedal comes in, and it's all neatly pre-drilled in a standard pedal box. And I'm just doing this now because the rest of the video is being made, but I just wanted to get this thing painted first. So I've recently just bought a new thing of Hammerite, and this is the Hammerite metal paint hammered finish, but in white, which I think should look quite good. So I'm going to spray the box, and we'll see what it looks like. And I've given it a couple of coats, and this is now our pedal case, and I think it looks rather good. I think it's, I've not made a white pedal before. You know, obviously, first impressions, you think it could be an OCD pedal or something. Interesting, if you look at the side, we've got our jack sockets, but our DC input is actually on the side and not at the top. And that's obviously to fit all these bits here, because there's obviously going to be some pots and an LED and whatnot. I mean, I kind of prefer the power to be at the back. In fact, I'm quite a fan these days of having the jack sockets at the back as well, because if you've got pedals side by side, you can obviously fit more on your board. But anyway, the paint job's come out all right, so yeah, I'm happy with that. So we're just going to put that to one side, and then we'll look at the main guts of the project. Now, I haven't opened any of this yet, but it's got written on it Fuzz, so we know it's our fuzz circuit. And inside here we have our battery terminal connector. We've got 3 knobs there. These knobs are fairly standard in Chinese pedal kits, and they're functional. And we got the 3 pots to go with them. Very, very cheap pots, but also very small. And I think the reason that they use these small ones is just to fit everything into the case. We've then got an LED. And I quite like the housing this LED's in. It's very neat and tidy, so that's good. We've got a standard Chinese DP 3-pole, 3-way switch. Obviously the signal comes in and it loops through to the out, or it goes through the pedal, and then you use the other bit to light the LED up. Now we have box jacks to come in and out. Again, I like box jacks. These are PCB mount ones, again, probably just to be cheap, but again, they're functional. They're actually both stereo jacks, which is handy, because if you've got stereo jacks, then that means that I think that the plug generally stays in better, because you're sort of supporting it from 2 sides. So yeah, that's all good. We've got a load of wire here, all cut to length, and yeah, this is, it's wire, it's what it is. There's the ubiquitous DC input connector. of which I've bought hundreds of these, and you know, they're what they are. We've got our resistors in this little packet here, and they've all been labelled, so that's handy. We've then got the 4 screws for the case, and in here we've got all our other components. And let's see what there is. I'm guessing we should have a couple of diodes. Looks like it's be an op amp. There might be some transistors, capacitors. Yeah. So yeah, we've got a few electrolytics there. We've got some look like tants there. There's a diode there. That's probably the protection diode, so you don't wire the pedal up back to front. There's a couple of signal diodes there, 3 of them. That will give us our fuzz sound. And we've got 2 op amps. And what are they? They are a... oh, I can't even see. I need to put my my special glasses on to have a look. And this one is a 4558D MO765. That'll be some sort of op amp. And this will be the same probably. No, it's a 741. It's a good old 741. And last but not least, here is our printed circuit board. And yeah, looks all right. It's got all the parts listed on it, all the numbers. And what is handy is that the this will be mounted inside the pedal case, and it'll be held in because the foot switch will be soldered to the board. Now I'm guessing it's going to be up that way, but it might be the other way. It might go down that way with the components facing upwards, although I don't think that would fit in the box, so I'm pretty sure it is going to be that way. But anyway, I'm not going to solder this in until the very last moment. And what I shall do is I'm going to start populating the board. It's nice, it's got the every part is listed, so you shouldn't need to worry too much. The LED, it obviously wants you to wire off as cables. It's got the battery goes here, the feed to this. Everything here goes to the board rather than the board just being the effect, and then you wire everything else out separately. So yeah, I think we'll start getting this thing soldered in. So the first thing I'm going to do, as I always do, is I'm going to pop in this bag of resistors. I got all the resistors in then, and for good measure I put the diodes in as well. Now if you're wondering about things like orientation, you can probably see just here, and maybe where these diodes are as well, that the lines are marked, so everything's orientated and it's listed. Same with things like the electrolytic capacitors, the positive ends are marked on the circuit board. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in all the other components that are needed to go on this board. All the board components are now soldered in. One thing to note, with the 2 ICs, they are orientated differently. This IC here is pointing upwards and the 741 is pointing downwards. So if you build this kit, keep an eye on the orientation marks on the board, because you do need to get these the right way round. Or else, if you wire an op amp in back to front, it will probably get very, very hot. And if you're lucky, it'll survive. If you're unlucky, it'll blow up and you'll need another one. Fortunately, 741s are quite cheap, but if you don't make the mistake to start with, then all is good. Next thing then is we need to hook all the wires on and solder all the pots and things. And before we get into that, here's something. We actually have some paperwork with this kit, which I haven't looked at yet, but it's a sheet of A4. And what this has got is a layout of the board, but it's also got how the wires are going to each pot and each control. And it's interesting that if we look at this, yeah, they have got standard wiring, so it's going 1, 2, 3. So if you look at, say, a volume pot, like this one, for example, you'd always look at it from the front, and therefore you always go pin 1, 2, and 3, because 1 is on the left, 2 is the wiper in the middle, and 3 is the right-hand one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to solder all the wires to the pots and then wire them to the board, and then we'll stick it all in the case and see what it sounds like. The first thing I soldered is our old friend, the LED. Now, even though there wasn't any heat shrink with it, I've just used a bit of heat shrink just to go on there, just because I don't want to have any short circuits. This is our box then with all the wires in, and you can see it's a bit tight in there, and I actually bent in some of the pins on the jacks. Okay, we've got everything wired in now, and the way the batteries work on pedals, if you've not sussed it out before, in essence, you got your battery here on this connector, and the ground wire goes to the sleeve of the input jack. And what that does is the input jack has 3 poles. It has the tip, the ring, and the sleeve. And sorry, that goes to the ring, not the sleeve. So this is our tip, this is our signal, that's our ground, and this is the ring. And what happens is, when the jack plug is inserted, these two join together, so it's like a switch, and then our signal is here. And that connects the ground of the battery to the circuit, which means the pedal then has power. The positive side is different. The positive side will go into the input socket for the power, and then it will come out of the input socket and go into the board, because that also has a switch, if you like, and when there's nothing plugged in, the switch is made. When you push in a DC connector, then the switch is bypassed, and the positive, which is on the outside here, that then goes to the output, and it's effectively disconnected the battery. Here we have our board then mounted in the pedal, and while there is enough clearance on here between the circuit board and the back of the lid, I'm always a little bit concerned that some of this might touch the case. So what I will do is cut out a small piece of cardboard and place it there as a bit of extra insulation between the circuit board and the case. Here's a piece of card. It's actually from the box that the pedal came in. I'm not going to be using this with a battery anytime soon, so I'll just sandwich all of that together and I'll pop the 4 screws in and we should be good for a test. Here then's our finished pedal. I do kind of think the knobs here may be a little bit too close together, and maybe they should have had smaller knobs on the end. The smaller type ones you can get. These are probably better on a pedal where they're more spread out. But anyhow, it's all there, it's all complete. And now I'm going to plug it in and we'll have a little listen. As usual for these tests, we've got my home-built Champ with an SM57 microphone in front of it. And the guitar for the demonstration is going to be my Reverend Reeves Gabrel's signature. As there's no actual text or graphics on this pedal, and so that you know what I'm making adjustments with as I play, I'm going to just label things. So here is our volume. In the middle is tone. And the one on the end is our sustain. So if you can read my scrappy writing, then we're on to a winner. Okay, well, our pedal's switched off at the moment, and this is our basic clean tone. And if I bring the filter back on the guitar, so kind of a more single coil sound. We're just going to use the bridge position, I think, for this test. And we'll stick the pedal on and we'll have the volume set in the middle. We'll have everything in the middle, and this is what we get. So yeah, that's with everything in the middle. Now I'm going to just turn the EQ up a little bit and we'll get it with a bit more treble. So yeah, it's quite gnarly. And if we turn it all the way up to the top, yeah, it's really, really nice and 60 sounding. And we'll just turn the sustain up a little bit more. And then if I turn it all the way up to full power, So yeah, I think it's safe to say you've got plenty of sustain, plenty of top EQ. I could turn the EQ to right down to the bottom as well, just so you can hear what it is muffled. So you can tell there's certainly quite a big EQ sweep there. And that kind of ends the demo, really. I mean, it is what it is. It's a fuzz pedal. It's a nice sounding fuzz pedal. There's no extraneous noise or farting or any sort of, nastiness. It's a great little pedal kit. And for the money, you just cannot go wrong. Because, as I said earlier in the video, the case for this pedal is going to set you back almost as much as what the whole kit cost. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.